Hi everybody, my name is Katie. I work at the Bourbonnais Public Library, and today I wanted to share with you a couple of my favorite checkouts from the app Hoopla. So Hoopla is an app that Bourbonnais Library patrons have access to. You can get up to 3 checkouts on that app per month. So the great thing about Hoopla is you, your mother, your brother, your sister could all be checking out the same material at the same time. You'll never get told that it's on hold for someone else at this moment, but that's why there's only 3 checkouts per month. So now would be a great time to give it a whirl because it's the end of March here, heading into April. The beginning of the month, it restarts and you get those 3 checkouts again. So that's a little bit about Hoopla. I want to start with the movies and TV section. So as far as movies go, my recommendation would be Frida. I don't know if you can see here. Frida is a movie from 2002 with Selma Hayek, who portrays Frida Kahlo, a Mexican artist in the 1900s. So this would be a great movie to check out to learn a little bit more about one of those famous female Mexican artists. It is rated R, so it's not really a family movie, so keep that in mind. But what is a family endeavor to watch would be The Great British Baking Show. Kind of hard to see there, but man, this show, I have to warn you, it is on Netflix, so don't use up one of your checkouts if you have Netflix available. But if you want to watch something that just has lovely people making delightful treats in a tent in the countryside, I think we all could use a little bit more of that right now. So I highly recommend checking this guy out. On to the music section. What I've been listening to lately is just going back to the oldies but goodies. Elton John, kind of hard to see, sorry about that. But it's just the Elton John Greatest Hits album. Reminds me of my childhood. I can listen to it while I'm here working from home, doing some little household projects, singing into my hairbrush, because that's what one does when we're social distancing, right? So yeah, that's a great one. And then I also have a recommendation from my friend Cassidy. Cassidy is the adult services supervisor at the library, and she loves Hamilton. So this is based on the musical by Lin-Manuel Miranda. All the music is written by him, and it's just another great one. We may not be able to go to a musical, but we can bring the musical to us, right? Okay, so that's my music recommendations, and then I do have notes because I am normally behind the camera, so excuse me for that. So as far as books, I have another recommendation from Cassidy. So Carnegie's Maid is, can you see that? Is a historical fiction novel about the early success of the famous entrepreneur and businessman Andrew Carnegie. It was a fun and interesting read for her. She loved learning more about the story of a man who made such a difference to libraries, so that's a great one. And for my recommendation, I love these graphic novels, Paper Girls. So it is written by Brian K. Vaughan and illustrated by by Cliff Chang, and I've heard it described as a Stranger Things aesthetic. I wouldn't necessarily say that. You never know where these girls are going to go on their adventures. It's kind of confusing almost, but I kind of like being confused in my mystery thriller graphic novels. And I really love that it's a story about friendship between young girls, and the art is just amazing by Cliff Chang. So yeah, moving on to the audiobook section. So I would recommend listening to American Gods by Neil Gaiman. It's kind of a strange storyline. A gentleman named Moon, he's kind of adrift in his life. He's had some personal tragedies, and he runs into a man named Mr. Wednesday, and then he becomes his bodyguard and driver. So I will tell you, it's quite a weird journey. It's sci-fi fantasy based on loosely on mythological things. But yeah, the coolest thing I think is that if you have access to Showtime, it's recently been made into a television show that you could kind of binge watch during this time and compare and contrast between the two. And then the last recommendation is definitely my favorite because it was one of my favorite reads and listens of 2019. Hard to see. It's called Truth or Beard. Let me see. Aha. So Truth or Beard is a contemporary romance. I loved this one. It's about a young woman named Jessica who comes back home to Green Valley, Tennessee to teach after college, and she starts falling in love with an unlikely person from her past. There's a whole bunch of books to read and listen to on Hoopla, and I just loved it. I've been getting more into contemporary romance thanks to Samantha, the circulation supervisor at the Bourbonnais Library, who is really good at suggesting those. And I think we all just need a little lighthearted. We know there's going to be a happily ever after end in life right now. So yeah, those are some of my favorites. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below and I will get back to you. Whether you have questions about recommendations, we are part of a group at the library called BPL Reads, where you can email library@bourbonnaislibrary.org some of your questions about what to read next, and we can set you up with someone who can suggest those to you. So thank you for your time today and have a great day. Bye.